Hello and once again to Can TV 21. Let's talk etiquette. What a wonderful organization that we are affiliated with. This organization here is just really providing such a terrific service to the community. And I am very, very pleased to be associated with Can TV. And for all of my other nonprofits out here in the wider community, especially those in Chicago, this is an organization you should contact. If you're trying to get your message out, what your organization represents, this is an excellent vehicle to do just that. CAN TV has been around for many, many years. We've been associated at least 7 to 8 years with this organization. And yes, you have the state-of-the-art studios, state-of-the-art equipment, and very, very professional people that work here. And so this is a vehicle for you. It's practically free. You pay a little annual fee, but that's not anything compared to what you're getting in return. So please consider contacting them in the future. And I recommend that you do if you want to get your message out there to a wider audience. But I have to say, this is our last show for the season. And I've had such a wonderful time, and my hosts have had such a wonderful time this last 13 weeks. And I'm just so pleased that we had the opportunity to do what we've done, bring the message to you that we have brought to you. The subject of etiquette is just such a profound subject, and it has everything to do with who you are as an individual and who we are as a society. It's a simple system, it's not complicated, and it should be taught to every young person in this country. And every adult should adhere to those basic rules of good manners and, of course, great morals. And if you do that, you can have a wonderful life, and you'll find yourself to be a lot more healthier, a lot more happier when you show respect to your fellow citizen. And when you do that, you will just be so enriching, personally enriching, and you would enhance and uplift that other individual, that other citizen that you happen to encounter. And it doesn't have to be someone you know. It could just be someone you passing on the street or you encounter on a public transportation. So etiquette is it. And I would guarantee you the more it's taught and the more it is adopted and used, the happier we will be as a society, as a community. Our children will get along so much better. And really at the core of this discourse that we're experiencing, this anger, this hostility, this hating that we're experiencing is really because we have forgotten this basic fundamental system of how to be human and how to be civilized. And because of that, we are just causing great harm to our society and especially to our young people. We're not representing what we should as adults to them. And because we're not, then they just are lost and confused and do not understand what their obligations is for being human and being a member of this society. And so I'm encouraging all of those who hear this message, just let the community that you're in contact with, let the church that you belong to, let the organization that you participate in know that this is where we should be focused. And if they do that and you do that and you become an ambassador of etiquette, then you will be contributing immensely to the well-being of yourself and of the community at large. Because at the end of the day, if you are just confused and you are not certain to what your obligations and the rules of society are, this escalates the stress level within you. This is, you find yourself insecure and not certain as to what you should do and how you should do it. And when you're in that state of mind, you're not in a healthy state of mind. And so this is why etiquette is such a simple but very useful tool in terms of you representing who you are and also helping your fellow citizen improve their behavior, improve their manners. And if you do that, you're going to be a lot more successful in this society. And so we're encouraging all of those to adopt etiquette as your philosophy. Become an etiquette ambassador so that you can contribute to society on a whole nother level. And your consciousness will be so enhanced because you know you have an obligation that's worthy of your time, your attention, and your contribution, because it is indeed a way of contributing to your fellow man, to your fellow citizens, to your community, and to society at large. Become an advocate of etiquette. Take it to your church. Talk to your pastor. Let him know that this is something that's serious and we can do something about it. We can start right here in this church. Go to your local organization in the community, be it the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, the Rotary Club, whomever that you are affiliated with in the community. Encourage them to practice better manners. Adopt etiquette as their philosophy so that they can contribute to improving and enhancing this society. If you're a teacher or an educator, encourage your principal to bring etiquette in some form or some fashion into the school. It can be incorporated within each lesson, be it math, English. You can incorporate etiquette in there. If your school have a philosophy and you teach all of the teachers at that school how to introduce etiquette to their class, it can be done. It takes a few minutes before each class lesson to let the students know here is what is expected of you. Here's how you contribute to the embetterment of this class lesson. And here's what you can do to improve your relations with your fellow students. If the teacher starts out talking about that in the beginning of the class, those young people will eventually adhere to it. They will eventually accept it as part of the school's culture. The school has a culture, and if it's refined around this subject, you're going to have a far more disciplined student body. And so this is just an opportunity that is there for each and every one of us, regardless of what our profession is, be it a school teacher, be it a business owner, be it an employee at your job. Ask your supervisor, your manager, to bring etiquette into the workplace. Let's set up a set of rules of conduct for each employee. You can do that. It's not complicated, but you can make a difference in your work environment simply by bringing that to your employment, your place of work. And so there are 1,000 different avenues that you can use in order to enhance this society and make it a better place. Make it contagious. I want America to be etiquette driven. I want America to be, civilized at a point where there's no need to lock my door. There's no need to fear anyone that I encounter on the street. Can you imagine that? Where you can just walk down the street and just speak to someone and they smile back and speak to you and you have no need to fear them? Isn't that wonderful? You shouldn't have to fear them or be worried about somebody breaking in your car and all of that, somebody breaking in your house. We're living in a world of fear. Fear is driving us to do all kinds of things. We have bars on our doors and on our windows. We have alarms and we have guns in our homes because we're so afraid. Why are we living in fear? And you can do something about it. That's the main thing. And for you politicians out here, you're just letting this thing go on without using your influence. You can use your influence, Madam Alderwoman, Mr. Alderman, Mr. State Senator, Mr. Congressman, Mr. Mayor, Mrs. Mayor, whomever. You can Institute. The two people just won election for governor. Mr. Prisker, do something about etiquette in the schools. Institute it all over the public school system. It would be so profound if you did that. Governor Prisker, if you said we should teach etiquette to every child in public school in the state of Illinois, don't you realize what that would mean? Do you not realize you would be impacting the next 40, 50 years of the behavior of Americans, the behavior of people living in Illinois? Don't you realize other governors would have to follow your lead? They could not just be governor and you over here promoting etiquette in your schools and teaching it at every level from kindergarten all the way up through college. You have the power to do that through your mouth, through your words, Mr. Governor. And who are these people running for mayor here in our city? What are they talking about? Are they talking about teaching our children how to behave? How to have some self-discipline and self-control? Are they talking about how we're going to improve our schools? And we can improve them through this format? This is our humanity that we're talking about. Etiquette. That's what we're talking about. So why aren't you out here talking on the campaign trail about what you're going to do as mayor in order to improve public education in Chicago? What are you doing? It's not a secret. Etiquette is not a secret. It's not hidden knowledge. It's everywhere. And you can make a difference as mayor. Put that on your campaign list of things that you promised to do if you were elected mayor. And I guarantee you, you will get elected. You will get elected. Anyone that hears this message, call your whomever you want to be mayor of Chicago. Tell them if you want to get elected, put this on your agenda. Add this to the things you want to do when you become mayor of Chicago. And I guarantee you there's nobody can talk against it. Nobody can come against that message. You will be there by yourself. In fact, you may force the others to join you. Can you imagine that? Okay, when you get up on those debates, add that to what you want to do, your format, your program, etiquette. Every child, I want to make sure they get an hour a day of etiquette from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I guarantee they won't end up with a gun in their hand. They won't end up robbing someone or killing someone. They won't end up filling up the penitentiary like they're doing now. Now do that and see what you get and see if you can get elected on that alone. And I would guess that you can get elected on that one format, that one program, that one agenda. You can become mayor of Chicago if you promise to do that. And I think that would be so noble, so enriching, so culturally elevating to all of us. The mayor is, the candidate is running for mayor and he's running on etiquette. Wow, what is he saying? What does this mean? What kind of impact can this have on this community and on the whole society? Because guess what? If he wins or she wins on that format, then other mayors are going to say, oh, wow, they're doing something very radical, very revolutionary up there in Chicago. Maybe I could use that same program. Maybe it does make sense. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe we'll stop some of the violence and some of the killings. Maybe our streets will be a lot safer. Maybe all these other wonderful things we could have as a society can happen. Because we're teaching one good lesson, one life-lasting lesson. I said lifelong lasting lesson that you would use each and every day of your life. Because it's a value system. And once you buy into it, you accept it, you adopt it, you're going to just be that person. And that's the importance of etiquette. And so I'm encouraging all of our politicians, far and wide, get on this bandwagon. Bring this to your constituents. Let them know that you are a human being who cares. And that's all you're telling them, that I care. I care about not just today, but I care about what it's like and what it's going to be like 20, 30 years from now. I want this to be my legacy when I finish serving the people of the city of Chicago. So I'm telling you, this is just such a wonderful program, wonderful concept, wonderful value system that can serve us in such a way that is just unbelievable. And so we at the Etiquette Foundation of Illinois are asking each person who hears this show, I don't care who you talk to or who you say it to, if every day you utter the word etiquette to somebody, I don't care who it is, your neighbor, your relative, your cousin, you know what, this thing, we got all these problems, and maybe that thing called etiquette could be a help. What do you think, John? You think that's a good idea? Let someone else know that we want to improve our education. We want to improve our society. We want to improve our humanity. So we can do it through this way, just talking to each other. I have a caller. Caller, you on the air?
Yes, Mr. Wright, and good evening.
Steve.
And I hope you had a wonderful holiday.
I had a wonderful. How about your holiday? Was it great?
Life is always great.
Every day.
Every day, I take the bad with the good.
Absolutely.
That's the way that I try to work my life. But, I was just thinking about what you're saying, especially like to politicians. It's so saying, do what you say you're going to do. Try it. Just try to do what you say you're going to do. And if you don't do it, learn to say, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And try it again. That's where that old idiom comes at. Everyone deserves a second chance.
Absolutely.
But again, first you got to have the beginning to try to. And Mr. Wright, I'm always listening to you, but I always take things that what goes on in my life and things that you hear, you read, and you see. You're saying about the politicians, and the most simple thing to do is simplicity.
Yes.
You should just do what you say you're going to do. Don't lie and say you're going to do something and you don't do it.
That's integrity.
Yes.
Manners and morals.
And then people, I'm not even going to begin to say that. What they tell the kids and their wives and their own self, it's got some deceitfulness has got so bad. You lie to yourself, and you don't even know you're lying. That's really sad.
You're right, Steve. It's just gotten that
really
bad.
Sad. But this is your last show for the year?
It's the last show. Yes. Be off 13 weeks.
Trust me, we're going to be counting the days.
Great.
I got to a point, people don't call because they're embarrassed to say things. But I know there's many people still listening. See, that's good, too, long as they listen. But again, we're going to be counting the days.
Yes.
For you to come back.
I should be back.
And trust me, we will be here waiting for you. I know I will.
Thank you,
unless
Steve.
God decides to take me away. Then
thank you.
Some way, somehow.
You're not going to be taken away. You got many more years to go.
I hope I do.
Yes.
And if not, I know I'm going to take it with me because I had a good teacher here to tell me how to act wherever I get. So listen, Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
Have a happy New Year's, a safe New Year's.
Yes.
And like I said, we could be waiting for you. And trust me, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to always try to do what I said I'm going to do. And if I have a little break, I'm going to learn to say I'm sorry and do it again.
So important.
We're going to miss you, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to miss you too as well. Have a happy holiday yourself and a great new year.
See you next year.
See you next year, Steve.
All right.
Yes, Steve is one of our most loyal callers and just such a great human being. And I look forward every week for that call from Steve because he has so much to contribute to what we're trying to do, the message that we're trying to get out there. And I know he's doing his part. And I can't ask for any more. He calls in and he also preaches the same talk the same talk that I'm talking. So thank you again, Steve. Looking forward to our next encounter. Hopefully it'll be over the phone in another environment. But I appreciate your support, believe me. And you will be here for many, many more years to come because you have so much to give. It's about that spirit that you have of giving and caring. And that's what makes you pick the phone up and call us. Thank you, Steve. Gonna miss that caller without a doubt going forward, but we're gonna be energized, and I'm gonna look for him to call at least by the second show. And if I don't hear from him by the second show, I'm gonna start investigating to find out what's going on with Steve. I'm certainly gonna do that. But yeah, this is a subject that I think we all have the ability to promote and market. And if we can all get on that, it's like if you tell one person, they'll tell two people. Those two would tell four. Those four would tell eight. So it can have that kind of ramification. And if you take time like Steve does to call me, I know he's telling people that he encounters every day about this subject and why this is such an important subject that we have the ability to learn and incorporate into our personalities and certainly into our humanity. And so this is why we're doing what we're doing. And this is what motivates us to do it. Because I've lived long enough to see the benefit of it. And when you can say you can attest to seeing the benefit of it, and I'm speaking directly in terms of educating our children, we've literally educated thousands of children. And we go back to a time when there was a Sabrina Colonnay that was involved, when there was a Lisa Newman. These are our early first mavens that came on board to make this a reality. And we've had many other great mavens, and I don't want to fail to mention Sandra Craig. What a great lady, what a great legacy. 25 years of teaching etiquette. And I mean, her heart and soul was in it. And you see the consequence. Our children just loved her. A great lady. That was Levice Perkins that was with us. There was Georgia Sullivan, who is still with us. Lily Cooper, Paulette Brooks. I mean, there are just a list of great mavens who are, some are still with us, and we're still persevering forward. Lucretia Adams, I talked with her yesterday. Just such a great, great lady. And so we have made a statement, and we have contributed to this community. And we're very proud of the work we've done. We've taught at the local schools, some elementary, at least a dozen schools on the west side alone, maybe a dozen schools on the south side, and even out in the suburbs we've taught etiquette. We've taught it at Malcolm X College. We've taught it at Roosevelt College, University. We've taught it at DePaul. We've taught it at Northwestern. We've taught it out at Prairie State in the suburbs, and out at several other schools that we've taught that. So we've been all over the county, in some places even outside of the county, teaching this great subject. And so we're very, very proud of our work and our legacy and the things we've done to make this community a better place for all of us. And so we are asking you to join us. Next year we've already initiated our 2020 civility campaign. We talked about it on several shows, previous shows. That's about the 2020 election cycle. And this whole discouraging, this campaigning that we witnessed in 16 is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. We need to do something to encourage our political leaders and statesmen to be that. So the 2020 civility campaign is one that we want you to be a part of. And so you can by contacting us. And let me give you our information so that you can reach out to us on this matter of civility. And that number is 312-473-2942. And you can reach us there at info@efoi.org. And of course, you can visit our webpage. That's www.efoi.org. EFOI.org. And so I want to conclude this last show for this 13-week cycle by thanking everyone who has called us, thanking those who have watched this show, and thanking this great community called Chicago. And I am very, very pleased to have presented what we do here in this great city. I want everyone that's listening to have a wonderful, safe holiday and a new year. And with that said, good evening.